So who came up with glasses? If you took the time to actually think about glasses, someone had to say, legitimately, we can't see, but we can see better if we have these little lenses in front of our eyes. And then they said, hey, how are we going to get these lenses to stay? And they thought, what we're going to do is take a couple of wires, connect them over the bridge of the nose, and then back behind these ears. And it worked. You've thought about so many of these other things that are like, why did people think like that? Like doorknobs. Given my doorknob is a lever, but who thought we need to be able to open and close this door? So we're going to make a latch with an object that spins so that you can turn it, it'll unlatch the thing. Or even better, we're going to take it and make it a lever so that if you needed to, you can just boop and open the door. That's genius. Who thought of this? And then in this book that we're going over, Alchemy by Rory Sutherland, he talks about how so many things have been designed to suit the human body. And we make interfaces and tools and gloves and all of these things to fit our human body. However, we don't always use the same fitting processes with our minds. Much of the design that we do, in general, is oriented towards an end, right? Like a chair. For example, there's a chair sitting here. And this chair, it's a rolling chair, which I love. Almost hit the fan. And obviously it's fitted to caress the cakes and support the low back with two sides on either end so you can rest your arms. But how many iterations of the design of the chair did we have to go through before we arrived on this design? Now, we've been sitting in chairs for, millennia now, but chairs weren't always this ergonomic. It takes some time to be able to think through how we can better suit our environment to our bodies. And in today's day and age, we've done so well designing things around our bodies that we've moved to the next phase by designing things that are helpful to those who are not as ably bodied as most people. He gives the example of this handy kitchen tool, Easy Grabs. And the person who designed Easy Grabs designed it for his wife who had arthritis and was not able to use kitchen tools in the same ways that most people could. As a result, he designed something that was better still for the general population, making it easier to pick up things, move them around, especially if maybe you don't have the grip, instead you have a wet hand, in which the tool is equally as effective and productive for the person with wet hands. And that leads me to think about so many things. How many opportunities are there where we have yet to reach the fullness of its ergonomic design for ourselves? And it's easy in this particular context to get caught right there because we deal with the CrossFit world. We do things that are, actually this is a great example. We do things that are in line with our physical form. But how about with our minds? If that makes sense. Do we understand our own mind's nature and our own human needs and desires well enough to be able to gear our products and services for our natural human design? I think we've tried in some ways, and I think the marketing world tends to aim at those things better than just general commodities and services, because a marketer will say, hey, get this result immediately, because they understand that in the human mind, the more quickly we can arrive at the destination, then the better it is for getting attention. And oftentimes when you see marketers do stuff like that, they're like, get results now. They never actually get results now. They just say that. But it works because it's in line with the needs of the human mind. What else could we be doing that helps the human mind in our work. I'll give you a case in point, and this is something that I would tie together, particularly in the CrossFit world, where you set short-term objectives every 30 to 60 days, thus incentivizing people to reach those objectives and then rise over and over again. Because the human mind has a need for an obtainable goal, something that they can do and do relatively quickly, that thus encourages them not only to achieve said goal, but the reward for achieving is getting more and committing more to that which works. So you as a CrossFit gym owner could say, hey, you're a new member, we're gonna give you a round of tests, because we have our own standardizing tests like the CrossFit Total and all of the girl workouts. You can measure those things out up front, set a goal for that person to achieve, something that is highly achievable, and then have them do so, get that goal, set another one, and then incentivize them to stay longer because you are speaking directly and creating something that ties into the design of their mind for easy results, quick results, and something that is achievable while increasingly getting more difficult, thus causing greater connection to them. It's the word, it's gamifying CrossFit. And I'm saying that to you not as a recommendation of what you could do. This is me just riffing, and I did not plan this, and it's not on the teleprompter. But it's an idea. People don't like to wait. People want to see immediate results. People want to get connected. People want to do... There are certain natural human desires outside of looking good, feeling good, having control, and being right, that businesses could tap into in order to make their products, their services, more viscerally satisfying to the human mind. How much of our work have we used to align our products, our services, our coaching, and our gyms with the design of the human mind? That's the question we need to understand. So first we need to know, how is the human mind designed? And I don't mean that in terms of like neuroplasticity and gray matter. I mean, what is it about the psyche that drives behaviors? What are the things that it wants, and what are the things that would satisfy it? And then reverse engineering what we do to be able to make sure that more people want to do what we are offering. That is a question that everyone needs to answer. And we do answer that a little bit in our marketing. I'm not going to give you the psychosis and psychological inner workings of our own promotion, but we do tie in many of those things. For example, primacy of effect, the growing or dying paradigm, which is legitimate, by the way, especially in business. If you're not growing, you are dying. But that creates a sense of urgency that compels people to buy. You know, there is the preventative method, which is great in CrossFit. Would you rather pay $100, $200 a month, month after month now to stay healthy, or would you rather pay $500,000 in hospital services later? There are things that you can use, levers you can pull in order to suit your messaging, your product, your services, and your gym to the human mind. But first, we have to be very honest with ourselves and understand the designs and desires of the human mind. Once we understand that, then we can really lean into our own development and create products, services, and gyms that are well suited to that design. And once you do that, you have a corner on the market because no one's thinking that way. So I would encourage you to really consider how the mind is designed and do something about it. Now, we are going to be having this thought exercise internally, probably for the next week, 2 weeks, 3, so that we can better suit ourselves to meet your needs and the designs of your mind. That's how marketing works. And in doing so, we can create a product that is more satisfying to you. It's what we're here to do. We're not here to gouge you of money. We're trying to help you run your business. And in us helping you run your business, you can help more people run their lives. And we all build a stronger community because that's what we need. And that's what our minds desire. It's what we're designed for. And we need to start thinking about that. And with that, I have a new idea. I'm not going to bring it up during this video, but I'll bring it up later. Until then, this is Enoch Marketing. I'm Colin Charles. If you want to hear more about us and you want to see what we can do for you and your company, give us a link. You can always reach us at enochmarketing.com. You can also drop us a note. We can DM us on everything now. That's how social media works. Until then, have a great day. Have a great week. And next week, we're starting chapter 3 of Rory Sutherland's book, Alchemy. And I look forward to seeing you there.